West 7th Street.
Oh, okay.
And then after that's when they moved down here to the next, not the next house, but the next
Right.
one.
Is 7th Street, is that house still here? Where they live?
Yes.
That house is still on 7th Street?
Yes, it's just west of Jackson. There's a parking lot on the corner, and then there's a double house, and I think that's the house next to Al Fisher's family, as I understand.
Oh, you have to show us sometime. I didn't realize
Yeah,
it.
because I wait 4, 5, 6, 7.
It's still there.
So they didn't build the apartment.
No.
No.
Do you know when that
It wasn't
was?
an apartment. It was a
Right, it was a
two-family house, one on each, up and down on both sides.
Like a duplex.
Right.
Are we recording?
Yeah.
It was up and down on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't until after this house was built in 1926. I don't know when it was changed into 4 apartments. That I can't remember. But it was probably rented as 2 houses, as 2, up each side.
Right.
But I don't know when it was made into apartments. I have no recollection. But I know that when Elsa and I were married, then it had been made into apartments, and we moved into what had been the upstairs of where it was where I was born. And then this house was built in 1926. That house was there before. I don't know how long, but it was there.
So you and Betty were both born. Were you actually born in the house, or?
I was.
Yeah.
I think Betty was too. I don't know, but I think that was only 5 years later. I would guess that she was born at home.
Yeah.
Dr. McCutcheon, I think, was the doctor.
And that was common at that time, rather than going and giving birth in the hospital.
Right.
Yeah.
And then had your parents already bought this lot?
They had the lot.
Was there a house here prior to that that you know of?
No. There was the cottage where Margaret and Albert lived.
Yeah.
And there was a big poplar tree right up through where is this showing up on it?
Yeah.
Where the porch is. When they were going to build, I said, "Can't you build the porch around the tree?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
So it had been just an empty lot at that point.
Lot, yeah.
Well, now do you remember anything about the street at that time? Was it all built up the way it is now?
I would say it was, there were more because some of them have been torn down
Sure.
and the building burned down.
Right.
But there was a streetcar up the middle. The Newell streetcar that went from the Potteries across the bridge, past the temple, turned down here and went up to the Y, and then came back. It didn't go up around
Yeah.
town.
And now the streetcar went on down to, it just went to Newell, or did it connect and go on down to Steubenville and all that?
No.
Yeah.
The Newell car just went to Newell and back.
Yeah, and that was for the pottery workers?
It was for the pottery people. That's what it was for.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And,
What was it, electric, I assume, at that
sure,
point?
streetcars with the overhead trolley.
Yeah.
Then there was a switch out front here, and then I think the switch was taken up the year we were married. But I don't know when the line quit, but I know they picked up the rails during the war, and so evidently it quit.
So were there streetcars on 5th and 6th Street also?
Not 5th, 6th.
Yeah.
The line came up from Steubenville, Wellsville,
Yeah.
one up the viaduct past 6th Street School. Do you remember, was that?
No, I think it was gone, but I know where it was.
And, sure, you never went to 6th. Went down back of the hospital.
Right.
And it went up 6th Street. Then it turned down through the Diamond. I don't know whether it went up 5th Street or not, or then it went on straight up 6th Street, and there was down Broadway and up past the post office and up the hill where the old Hill Road used to be, and that's the line that went up to East End and Midland, and then one line went up clear up to Beaver.
Yeah.
So
if you wanted to get from East End to Newell, you'd walk down the street and change to a different trolley.
You'd have to change at around the Diamond.
Oh, okay.
Well, no, the Newell line didn't go. You'd have to come down to
4th Street.
I don't think the Newell car came down Monroe and out that way. I think they came back here. I could be wrong. They might have gone up Washington Street out of town so much. So I don't know whether.
All right.
Yes.
Back to it. So this house was built in 1926. They, had they been planning for a long time to build? Do you recall? Or
Sure. They had an architect from Pittsburgh, I think.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I remember we used to enjoy running around the excavation. But there was a little, as I said, there was a little cottage where Margaret and Albert lived. That was here until we did the remodel.
Right.
As I understand, that little cottage was like a land office for this,
Oh, really?
whatever you call it, subdivision
Yeah.
or whatever the hell you call it.
So, did your
okay.
parents own the little cottage too? Did they
Yeah,
buy the
yeah,
little cottage too?
Yeah, they owned the whole lot.
Yeah.
And what about the garage? The garage that
Our garage? Oh, the old garage.
the old garage that your daddy owned.
That's down the street. That was down back. So they owned that building, that house. So that I think they must have built that garage. It was a 5-stall garage.
So they, okay. And this, just to fill in a little bit, so that was, they moved there before you were born.
Yes, I was born there. So I said,
And your dad they moved to town in,
they were married on December 31st, 1910.
okay,
And then Dad opened the store. Dad must have been here because he opened the store in February of 1911.
okay.
So whether he was roomed someplace or not, I don't know. But that's the,
So they moved into the house 2 doors down when they were married.
yeah.
Okay.
Sometime after, well.
Or
they
some
lived-
time
they lived-
thereafter.
They lived on 7th Street.
Yeah.
But I can't tell you just how long.
Okay. Okay.
And if you wanted on there, I think somebody asked me about twins. My mother had stillborn twins sometime before I was born.
Oh,
And then I think there was a miscarriage someplace between me and Betty.
Oh.
But I mean, they never talked about it. Somebody else told me that.
Yeah.
Well, I knew about the twins, but and I have no idea whatever happened to them, if anything. I don't know what they did with things like that at that time.
Yeah. Yeah. So, do you have any idea what it cost to build this house when
I
they built?
think around $33,000.
Wow.
I think I saw that figure once.
Yeah. Yeah. And what was this? What was this part of town like? Who else lived in this neighborhood?
They used to call it Irish Town
Really?
because there were a lot of English and Irish and Catholics lived here.
Yeah.
And there's been so many changes between the Vondran house
Yeah.
and the apartment. There was a house.
Mm-hmm.
The old Mr. Eckert lived in there, and then there was a thing back in there where Don lived.
Mm-hmm.
Then this house is up where all that big parking lot across from the Catholic school, that was all houses.
Right.
But a lot of it, from our congregation, lived in this area.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't live up on the hill.
Yeah. So what? Well, now Mimi's parents lived on this street also,
They
or?
lived, well, originally they lived on the corner of the alley between Monroe and, or on Monroe between 4th and 5th.
Uh-huh.
There's a little parking lot there, but then they lived in the house next to that.
Uh-huh.
Then they moved into the house next door where there's now torn down, there's a parking lot.
Okay.
Benheim's lived in the big corner house.
Right.
And Wasby's lived there, I think, first.
Hmm.
And then Benheim's moved, then the Wasby's moved over into the apartment.
Oh.
On the corner down there were K-Woods. Next to that, as I remember, was Ambrose Weber, who had the brewery and the Crockery City stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Then eventually Mimi's family moved into the next house.
Oh, okay. The one that I remember is the Babs house?
No,
or?
no, the next one.
Oh, Mrs. Cartwright?
Mrs. Cartwright, that's right.
Yeah.
They lived in there before she did,
Yeah.
before they moved to California.
Oh, okay.
and Herschel, isn't there one of those little houses down there that you told me before? I think was moved.
The house clear at the end of the street used to be on the corner of Monroe and the alley.
Mm-hmm.
On the southeast corner.
Mm-hmm.
That stone house.
Right.
Steins used to live in there
And why did it have to be moved?
because that's when they made the original road. They took all that, took out 3rd Street.
Mm-hmm.
That's when they took all the houses. There used to be houses along the back alley there,
Yeah.
clear up to the corner.
Yeah. Across the alley.
Yeah.
And down to the 3rd Street and
There's a row of houses on the alley and then down on facing 3rd Street.
right. Now, before the temple wasn't built until 1920 something, right?
The ground was broken in 21. It was dedicated in May of 22.
So where did the Reformed Jews go to temple prior to that? Do you know?
I presume maybe if they met at all, they met in people's houses.
Oh, okay.
No, wait a minute. I'm sorry. I know that's not true. They had services sometimes at the Elks. They had services sometimes up on the top floor of the Oddfellows building.
Uh-huh.
They had services, up above the cleaners. Was 1 hour cleaners or...
Oh, down in the building that, you mean Fifth, across from Ogilvy's?
Yeah, they had
Yeah.
up above there, I think it's a Maccabees Hall or something.
Oh.
And then where the Review is, the parking lot on the corner by the Review was a building, the Moose, and they had services in Sunday school and so forth in there. I don't know that they ever met in people's houses. I made a mistake there.
But was the other congregation on 3rd Street there at that time already?
Yes, they had the one down on 3rd next to the Moose that
Right.
is there now.
Right. That was it Orthodox or was it
Sort of Orthodox.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have said it was an Orthodox congregation.
yeah.
They had Hader and stuff, but we didn't go to that.
Yeah.
But that was there until 1963 when
Right,
we merged.
when we merged. Yeah.
That's the Feynmans. So a lot of the people from East End went there. There was a Jewish group out in East End. Nobody was up on the hill.
Well, was there development up on St. Clair at that point?
There were
or-
houses up there, but the Jewish people didn't live up there.
Yeah.
Until
Well,
much
right, because
later.
some of those Park Avenue or
Park Boulevard,
Park Boulevard.
Those are
Jewish people
old.
could not have bought out there, couldn't buy property out there
Oh yeah.
on Boulevard or Forsyth Place.
Yeah.
It was restricted.
Restricted.
Yes.
What?
Mother and Dad could not have bought property out there if they wanted to.
It
That's
was restricted against Jewish people?
Yes.
Oh.
That was a fact of life, dear.
And what year was that?
Well, this house was built, I don't know when they changed, but it was sometime after, I'm trying to think I can't remember. First Jewish people out there might have been Vicki and Marvin, I'm not sure, because they rented a house near the Thompsons. And then, the only other ones I can think of out there would be the Grocers. They came along much later after I was out of high school. Well, much later, that was Loudon's house.
Yeah.
On the property in Forsyth Place, they couldn't have. I think Bartolovich was the first one that broke that.
Yeah.
And then let's see what the only other Jewish people. Well, is Mark Hoffertcher. He doesn't count because they never joins the congregation.
Yeah.
But Dad and Mr. Benham, I think, were the first Jewish members of the country club.
Oh really? Yeah.
I can't tell you when that was, but I don't know that Mr. Benham ever did anything. I think maybe Gordon and Helen, maybe they tried to play golf. I wouldn't swear to that, but I know. And then it was a long time before other Jewish people got accepted. It was there, dear.
Yeah.
I just didn't, in my growing up years, we had a different kind of,
No,
kind of bigotry.
This isn't what you wanted, but I
No.
don't ever remember any active anti-Semitism directed toward me. I mean, I know it was there
Yeah.
as a general thing.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
But, Dad was a very respected businessman.
Yeah.
He was accepted.
Right.
But, I mean, there was no acts of anything. The only thing once when I was in high school, they had no Jewish people no Jewish boys in the High Y.
Yeah.
They were just never taken into that. And when I was a senior, some of my friends worked it out so that they invited me to join, and I said, no thanks, I didn't think I wanted to.
Yeah.
I did belong to the DMLA for 1 year.
Yeah.
You had to have a relative, and I think Uncle Fritz was a
Oh.
Mason, I think, and so that's how I got into the DMLAs, just for my senior year.
Yeah.
But so I don't know about the girl. I don't think Elsan was ever in the High Tri. If they still had it, I'm not sure. But they did not take Jewish people in the High Y.
I really had no idea.
Well, it's a Christian or Young Men's Christian Association.
Oh, true.
Sure, it was associated with the
True.
YMCA.
But
So.
still.
But you went. Now, did you go the Y? You went to the Y as a boy, didn't you?
Yeah.
So
Oh,
that
yeah,
it wasn't.
yeah.
That wasn't an issue.
No, it was just belonging to this.
Yeah.
It was a high school,
Yeah.
I don't know if they still even have it.
I have no
I don't
idea.
think so. Maybe in smaller towns.
Yeah. All right.
Well, and wait, I have a question
Go
too.
ahead.
This house always seems to me, when I look at it, coming down the street or whatever, that this house is just truly like the crown jewel of the street.
Mother and Dad wanted to live downtown because they didn't want us to have to come down the hill in snowy weather to go to school.
Oh,
That's why they built down here.
yeah.
And now, of course, the schools are up on high school to high school. So now the high school, of course, is up on the hill.
Right.
But that was one of the main reasons
Oh,
for
right.
it. They did own a lot where Kay's garage is. It was just a lot. And then the choice was to where they were going to build. And then I think when they decided here, they sold the lot to Dr. Rich, who was going to build a house. But then he built that garage, which was just a car stalls. It was built around a horseshoe type thing before it was, and they were real unhappy with him for that.
Well,
But no, they just lived up the street.
yeah.
The Riches.
And did they choose brick because it would just be so much safer from like fire?
No, I don't think. I think they just wanted that's what
Pretty
they wanted.
brick,
Yeah.
Because so many of these other houses are wooden, or
Yeah.
a combination
Well,
of.
that's what I don't remember any brick houses down here except this one.
Yeah. So then when the family moved into the house,
Yeah.
it was just the four of you, or
That's
was
right. I was 10, Betty was 5, and
Right.
Mother and Dad.
right? And now when did you said it was your grandfather who lived here for a
Grandpa
time?
came here. He came here after Grandma died. I think it was 19. It was just before I went to college.
Okay.
And then he stayed. He died just after I graduated. So he would have been here. Grandma never lived here.
Now that was your mother's father.
Yeah.
Okay.
My dad's parents died in Russia before I was even born.
Yeah.
Then at one time, Dad's sister Leah came and lived with us for a while in the same room. Wait, was that before or after Grandpa? That may have been after Grandpa was here. But then they tore out that wall and made the big bedroom.
Yeah. So Grandpa lived there. Your grandpa lived there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And was he in poor health or in good health?
No,
or-
but there was just nobody in Pittsburgh. And,
Yeah.
No, he was in reasonably good health. He could get around until the very end.
Yeah.
But I don't have any recollection of my grandma. I think I maybe mentioned that the other day. There's none at all.
Yeah.
I remember him. He was a very distinct little white piping around his vest, velvet collars on his overcoats.
Yeah.
Always with a derby, as I recall.
And then, now that what his name was
Abraham.
Fredland.
Fred.
Okay. Okay. And then, but Aunt Leah was your dad's
Dad's sister. Her married name was Lipner, Lipner.
But she lived in this country?
Yeah, she and Uncle Dave, that was his brother, they lived in Charleston, South Carolina when he came. So I'm not sure that Dad came through Ellis Island. I just don't know. But Aunt Leah had married, I think it was Simon Lipner, if I'm not mistaken, and they lived in Charleston, and Uncle Dave, and I can't think of his wife's name, but Mo Rubin and Seal, those would be my cousins.
Right.
And Uncle Dave had a jewelry store in
Charleston,
South Carolina.
South Carolina. All right.
So what was the name originally from Russia? It wasn't Rubin.
Rubinchik.
Rubinchik. No.
How do you spell that?
I'm not sure that might have even been Polish. I'm not sure because it was right in the borderline there where I located it on the atlas.
Oh yeah.
And,
What, Sani?
Sani, yeah. When we were looking for, you want to turn that off a minute?
Okay.
Can you?
Sure.
Good.
So,
Now, what do you want to know?
well, so let's go to the kind of the structure and of the house and the,
Structure of the house.
Original structure.
well, in terms of what, I'm thinking in terms of like its features, it had, obviously there was electricity in those days,
Sure. Electricity,
but it was
gas.
coal furnace and you had an ice box with they delivered ice, that kind of,
Right.
what was it like to live here then in terms of the conveniences that we have now versus what they were like at that time?
The only big convenience I can think now that we is the electric refrigerator.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Oh,
we
the
had an
ice
ice
box?
box,
Yeah.
which was out
It's
where
what it used
the
to be in
powder room is. That was
Right.
the little pantry. And the door came in where the sink is.
Haven't I shown you the big drain system down there?
And,
The coolest thing ever.
We had the telephone. It was
Yeah.
different. You didn't have dial. You had just a regular telephone. We had a coal furnace.
Mm-hmm.
And then Dad went to Coke one time and almost poisoned him. and then they put in the gas furnace next to the coal furnace.
Mm-hmm.
And that, if you maybe you recall, when we built the train, both furnaces were there. And then they
Yeah.
took out the coal furnace.
Yeah, I remember
and
that
eventually
vaguely.
took out the gas furnace and moved the little bitty one over in the corner there.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, we had everything that we have now. We didn't have the air conditioning.
Right.
But we had the hot water heat,
Right.
and we had electricity. We had gas for the cooking.
Right.
And the hot water.
Right. And the fireplace in here, I'm just going to
It's not a,
pan the room.
you can't use it for live flame. It just has a little stove in it, a fake coal stove.
Oh, actually, I guess we can't see it because of the caboose, but that's all right. So that's gas fired.
Yeah, it hasn't been used for a long time.
Right.
But occasionally, I think maybe once, for some reason, the furnace was off or something, and we turned it on.
Yeah.
Maybe when I was a kid we did, but I mean, it's just decorated.
But you know what I remember, Herschel, is you telling a story about being a little boy and how the furnace down there, whichever one it was, scared you.
No, I think that was
that
me.
you? How the furnace scared you like it was a fire
Oh yeah, I thought it was
monster?
the
Wasn't me.
I guess it was
I thought it
Louis.
was the most
We used to have to shovel coal.
frightening thing down there.
Where the room downstairs where all the tchotchkes are, over in the corner, that was a coal room.
Oh, that's
There's
right,
a coal chute
that's right.
empties in it. And that was a
And it
coal
opens
room.
out into the alley.
In the alley, right.
Yeah.
Oh, so that way they could just put it around.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's
very
pretty
cool.
cool.
As you work.
Should be zoomed down. So okay, so really the house, other than the stuff that's been done inside the house, I mean outside the house looks
outside
pretty
it's the
much as
same,
it did when it
right,
was
right,
built.
Absolutely.
Yeah, except the
Well, except for the little railings out front.
And
right.
the ivy.
There's a lot more
I
ivy
had
now.
a guy come around not too long ago, my man, he tore the ivy down off of the wood.
Yeah.
Next year we're gonna have to
Yeah.
paint the wood.
So now the sun porch how was it furnished when?
We had it was
You
like
moved
a
in.
little sitting room.
Mhm.
So mother had, as I seem to recall, it was like wicker furniture originally.
Mm-hmm.
And then it graduated to more solid furniture. We had a desk out there, and we used to do our homework and stuff out there. It was just like a regular
Wasn't
room.
there a piano, or was that in
No, the
here?
piano was back in that corner.
Yeah.
No, that's different than it was.
Right. Now, but it did have there were shelves, right?
Just up as high as the bottom of the window,
Mm-hmm. Well, there was a window seat there.
and a window seat
Like
there. You had that whole center
this
section.
was done pretty
was
recently,
not
too,
there.
because of-
Right.
And there were glassed-in bookshelves on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
The window seat.
But-
No shelves up above.
The windows were not. There wasn't a lower level of windows, was
No,
there?
no, those windows.
Okay.
And then it was just a wall there.
Right.
But the shelves up above were not there.
Mm-hmm.
And then the bookcases, then there was a shelf on top of the bookcase, just where the top of the,
Oh, yeah.
but then you had just the window seat there.
Right.
Now, these radiators and all were open.
Mm-hmm.
Back there, I think, no, it was closed in, but this was all open.
Mm-hmm. So then this room was it really a formal living room, or did you use it?
No, we
On a
used it.
regular
We-
basis.
Yeah, we used it.
It was before the days of covering living room furniture with plastic,
Yeah,
right?
right. Dad had his chair, I think. There was a radio someplace, and Dad had his chair there. And
Yeah.
the piano, it was a baby grand, is what they had over in the
Oh.
corner. Their mother played the piano,
Uh-huh.
and I could play chopsticks. But then it was furnished like normal.
Yeah.
Dad had his chair. We had a radio that would resemble this. At
Mhm.
that time, they were big cabinet radios.
Yeah.
His chair was there. He'd sit down and listen to the news, and turn it on and fall asleep. And if you tried to turn it off, you turn it off. And as soon as the 15 minutes was over, he was awake.
Yeah.
So I don't know that he ever heard Noel Thomas.
Oh, yeah.
You've heard that name, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
That's funny.
He was the Walter Cronkite of his time.
Right. Right.
But otherwise, the house is the same. The little sconces, is that what you call them?
Right.
There were two back there where the shelves.
Uh-huh.
Where they just I think they're down in the cellar
Okay.
someplace.
Okay.
I think in that back antique room.
Yeah. So then, the dining room. Now, did that furniture? Did your parents buy that furniture when you moved into the house?
Dining room furniture is original except for the upholstery. We had it
Yeah.
reupholstered once.
Yeah.
But that's the original. The furniture, except for the little bar thing in the corner,
Right.
it's all
Right.
the original furniture.
And that was and what was the story with the doorbell under the table or something?
There was a little thing up in the kitchen with 4 numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And when the front doorbell rang, 1 would come down. When the back door, 2.
Oh,
Then
so
there was
you
a
knew where
button
it was
in
coming.
the upstairs bathroom so that Dad could ring the bell and the maid would know to put his eggs on.
Hmm.
And it was supposed to have been, but there never was a button under the
Oh.
table
Okay.
so that if your mother could push it and the maid would bring the food in, but that never happened.
I see.
Oh, and
The
there
only
was
place I ever knew that to happen was out at Loeb's house in Columbus on
Oh,
Oak
yeah.
Street. And Ma Loeb would sit there. We used to kid
That's
her.
funny.
She was a
and
great.
there was a laundry chute upstairs.
You had a lot
Well,
of
think
shoes.
that's
and in the
pretty
kitchen.
cool. Oh, was there in the
Yeah.
kitchen?
Through the
Oh,
kitchen.
cool.
Through the kitchen.
Oh.
Yeah.
And there was a big hamper type, there, a big thing
Catch
down
all.
in the cellar where
Yeah.
the air conditioner is now.
Yeah.
And it could,
Yeah.
that's-
Did you have you didn't have a live-in maid? You had a somebody who came
you're
in
right,
and-
yeah, they came in.
yeah.
Yeah. The only live-in thing, Alice Mahoney Burks, when we were out at the campground, I think she used to live in when we were out there in the summertime.
Yeah.
The laundry was done by a woman, I remember her name was Nora. And in the summer, we used to bring it in, and she lived up on this, between 6th and 7th Street on the alley. I don't remember. I never can remember Rural and Drury, which is which. I think the next one up is Drury, and then I think the next one is Rural, and I don't, anyway.
Yeah.
But we always had a laundress,
Mm-hmm.
and we always had help.
Yeah.
Always had help.
So did the laundry go out, or was it done in the house?
Well, some of it was done here, but then in the summer, when the house was shut up, that's when we
Yeah.
brought it into Nora.
Yeah.
She was quite a character, as I remember.
Yeah. Yeah.
But but Mother always had help.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But every day, except I think it was like, I'm not sure about Sundays, but Thursday afternoon, was maid's day out.
Oh.
So Elsa always had help,
Mhm.
not full time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, all right. So the upstairs pretty much is
Upstairs is the same.
Again,
except
other
the-
than
except
cosmetic.
that The bedroom is one big bedroom, the same size
Right.
as this.
so that was your parents' room,
Parents' room.
and now how were the 2 bedrooms? Which of you had which bedroom?
Got to get my female straight. Betty had the front room, which was your room.
Which became my room. Okay.
Yeah, and I was in the back room.
Okay.
Then, when you went away to, Betty went, of course. Well, that must have been not Betty. Elsa Ann.
Yeah.
Let me see, she must have moved into the back room at some time. And, then you didn't come along till later.
Right.
And then after Elsa Ann went to school, of course, that's when Aunt Fanny came to live.
Right.
Well, not just after, but
Right,
that's
right,
when
later
the room
on.
was free then.
Because she came after Grandpa Will
She came-
died.
Yeah, she came in '66.
Yeah.
And,
But when was your room 2 rooms? Did I miss
no,
that?
my room, the big room,
Yes.
when the house was built, they put in a wall there.
Oh, it was originally 2 rooms?
Yes.
Oh.
When you get to the top, where that table
Right.
and the little thing on the wall, that's where the door, it's the only place the door could have been.
Right.
Oh,
There was
right.
a wall across there which was put in with the understanding that it could be torn out eventually, so it wasn't solidly, it wasn't.
Yeah.
And,
Load bearing
because
or
it-
whatever.
It was, the idea was that somebody's parents were gonna have to
Oh,
stay.
right. But there wasn't anyone there when they moved in.
No,
They just
no,
anticipated
no,
that somebody would probably have to move in.
That's right, it was just a room, a room.
Yeah.
See, if that was built in 1926, it was a guest room, I suppose.
Yeah.
If we had guests. I know it only had a single-sized bed, it didn't have a double bed or anything.
Okay.
So it was that side of the room. It wasn't this
Yeah, it was
side.
the back.
It was the back end.
Yeah.
Okay. It was the small part.
All right. Oh, and there was yeah, I didn't think about it. So there was an exterior, not exterior, but there was a door in from the landing,
Right.
from the hall, the upper hall.
Right by the railing there.
Okay, I got it.
There's not enough, that's the only place it could be,
Yeah.
because the other door is right.
Right, because when you looked at the ceiling to see where it was, there was it had sort of a little alcove.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it.
There was a cupboard in there, or a closet, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
So it was
Okay.
originally 4 bedrooms and
4 bedrooms.
2 bath upstairs.
Two baths, yeah.
Right, 'cause this was
But that little bathroom's always been connected. The
Two.
To the
Yeah.
2 room. Yeah. Yeah.
So I was in the back, Betty was in the front.
was that shower just like the most modern, sophisticated, cool thing ever?
I suppose at the time.
Because I still think it's pretty modern and
Except
sophisticated.
that I'm still hoping that center control doesn't give way, because we'll probably never be able to replace it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
But, at the bottom, when one of the rabbis broke off, there's that thing that comes out, you put a hose on it for a
Right,
shampoo,
right.
I guess.
Yeah. A sprayer.
Oh,
One of the
that
rabbis
would've been
managed to
cool.
break that in.
Yeah.
But I don't think I ever used it. I don't ever remember it being used.
I think I used it probably for fun, but
I would.
Oh yeah, as a kid.
yeah. All right. And then there are those little gas heaters in both of the bathrooms.
Right.
Was that was just for extra warmth in the winter?
Extra
Or?
warmth in the winter, right.
Yeah. Yeah. And there was a cedar.
See, with the coal furnace,
Yeah.
your heat wasn't as constant. You didn't have the thermostat and so forth to
Regulated.
regulate it, right, so that you had those little
Yeah.
stoves. I'm not sure they're even hooked up anymore. One of them had a leak, and we just
Oh.
sealed it off, and the other one,
Yeah.
I think the one in the little bathroom would work if you wanted it to. But,
Yeah. And the cedar, it's a cedar closet,
cedar
right?
Closet, yeah, you could really smell it when it was built, but now, of course, the cedar's
Kind of,
pretty well gone.
yeah.
Well, it was cedar lined for your mom's furs?
Well, for the winter clothes, and when you stored the clothes from season to season,
Mhm.
you had a
Furs
cedar
and
closet.
Yeah.
No,
Instead
the
of,
moms wouldn't get it.
instead of mothballs, you
Right.
put it
Oh,
in the
we should
cedar.
talk about the safes, because we were just talking about this morning. I think
That's
this is very
in the
cool.
linen closet, so called.
And there's
I
one,
don't know, I suppose if mother had jewelry or something, she would put it
Yeah.
in there.
and there's one
I
down
think
here.
I told you that this combination is in my sock drawer
I think so.
underneath. But you do have to, don't get discouraged, turning it hard on some direction. It works, because I've done it.
Yeah.
But you don't say it's broken, it'll go if you just,
All right.
And there's one down here.
well, yeah, you know about
Yeah,
the little portable.
yeah.
Portable
That
one.
came down from the office, didn't it?
No.
Oh, that was always.
It was there, I don't know where, I don't know where it was, now that you mention it,
Yeah.
but it moves. I think it's got some silver dollars
Huh.
and stuff in it, that's about all.
Yeah. Now there was never an attic.
No,
Right.
there's a crawl space,
Yeah.
but that was, well, there's that trap door there, right in the little hallway
Mhm.
upstairs,
Wait, where's the trapdoor?
right outside your door.
Outside the room we stay in.
Oh, but there's no stairs or,
No,
it's just a crawl.
no.
Okay.
And then when they,
Is that Ella?
I don't know that I ever stuck my head up there or not, but then when they had the house insulated, of course, then that was all filled up, so
Yeah.
nobody opens that.
Yeah.
No, thank God there was no attic, because if all that stuff,
Uh.
there would have been that much additional stuff, the house would have come through. To,
Now,
yeah,
and in the basement, how were the rooms in the basement
they are.
allocated? But I mean, one was the coal room, and
The coal room was over there, the furnace room
yeah,
was just the furnace room. The big laundry,
right.
the back,
What about the little back room where so many of the antiques were?
those shelves were not in there. Those shelves we brought down, I think.
Those are the ones that were in the
They're
kitchen, weren't they?
No, the shelves I think maybe came from here.
Oh, all
Those
right.
white cabinets
The
and
white
that big
cabinets
line.
are over, yeah, well, right, those are, but there's, I don't know what was in there, maybe jellies and jams and
Hmm.
canned goods and
Things
stuff.
they had
I
canned, because it
don't
was
really
so-
remember.
Yeah.
And there's a way to get to the basement from out there somewhere, or out there.
There's a, yeah, the
No,
door-
isn't there some hole or hatch or something that you can see the door when you're down there over in the corner?
No,
Well, there was the coal chute.
No, that's over there in the wrapping
Yeah.
paper
no,
room.
there's nothing under the thing, but there are two wooden, grates.
Yeah.
Okay, I must have
which
thought they
are the
went
open-
somewhere.
Open space,
Right.
whatever's under the.
But there was never like a storm cellar kind of door into the basement. That was because there's the back door into the yard.
But whatever is under
Yeah.
the floor in there is just dirt and stuff like that. There's no, but then I don't know why they put those for ventilation or something.
Or to keep children from crawling in.
One back of the dryer and one back of the thing over here that just wouldn't.
Yeah.
Great.
I used to have dreams about those, like you'd go, like I would crawl through and it would be this whole other world or something. I mean, just very odd sort of, what was on the other side of the.
There may be room to crawl in there, but I've never done it.
Not that you'd ever watched it. Yeah.
But they had that boiler. Did you took that home last time?
Yeah.
There's by our washer, there, they wouldn't have had a washer like that, or they didn't have a dryer.
Right.
And there was a gas stove that you could put that boiler on, a hot plate, I guess they call it, to boil the water and then use the.
And the mangle. The mangle
The
is
mangle,
fun.
that came later. That hasn't been used for a long time. I used to do the sheets on that.
Oh, yeah?
But,
Yeah.
but then the little room right under here was, well, maybe that's where the jellies and jams and odd things were kept, soaps and.
Yeah.
And the big part where the pool table is was just open space?
Yeah, right. Well, in the corner up here, there's a toilet,
Yes.
which had a
True.
curtain around it. That was for the maid.
That's the one she got to use.
I don't know that she had to use that, but if it was there.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that anybody that we had working for us could have used anything.
Yeah.
But I remember, I think maybe Elsa and I put in the thing around it when we thought we might be using it for some other purposes.
Yeah.
But it's turned off. It's
Okay.
it's been turned off for a long time.
What about the glass in the door? In the
That's
original?
that's there. That's original. Somebody who was here just not too long ago said it can be replaced if it ever would break out. It could be replaced. I can't remember who it was. Oh, I know. I think it was the rabbi's husband who does stained glass and stuff.
Oh, okay.
He
All right.
said it could be.
Yeah.
But I just keep my fingers crossed that it won't happen.
So all right. So does that cover all of our questions about the?
Let me just think.
You know about the kitchen, how it was different.
And maybe
Right.
we should go in there and he could show
Yeah,
you
just-
that.
Yeah. Let's. All right. We're pausing.
Here, there was a stove here,
Wait a second. Okay.
just a table here, stove there,
Mhm.
nothing up here.
Yeah.
And over here, this was the same. This was the same. This.
Mhm.
But then right across here to here
Right.
was there was a marble slab, cabinets underneath and cabinets on top, and right about here was a window.
Okay.
A narrow window. And then this was a brick wall,
Mhm.
or I don't know if it was brick or not, but it was a wall. No, I don't think it was probably wood. And then, as I said, this floor was lower,
Yeah.
and you came in across, and there was a step here, and there was a door
Okay.
here that went into that's where the refrigerator
The pantry,
was.
okay.
The refrigerator, and there's a cabinet in there that, well, no, there isn't there anymore. There was a cabinet in there for brooms and stuff.
Yeah.
And, like I said, there's a window here. And then they opened this up. This table was over here. This wasn't here.
Right. Right.
This table was over, that's why those fancy things are, because there was no room for chairs.
Mhm.
And there was a sink here. These things weren't.
Right. Well, this was all everything you see now was built in
Yeah,
in
right.
67 or 6 or whatever.
66. It was finished just before Elsa Ann got married.
Okay.
Just right after New Year's of 67.
Uh-huh.
And, but the windows and well, of course, that curtain wasn't there.
Right.
Nor was the door out there.
Right.
Like, this was right here, between the brick things.
Oops. That's right.
You all right?
Yeah, it was the
It
cord.
was just a, railing.
Right. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that none of that. This just a door. I mean, there
Yeah.
wasn't anything room for anything else.
Now, did your mother cook, or did she always have people who cooked?
No, mother was a good cook.
Yeah.
And then, as I recall, the only cook we had, the one that I can remember cooking was Mrs. Jackson, who was the one who always used to say, you know, what do we had for dinner? Laurels and hot stones. But she used to cook, but I don't remember any of the other women being actually cooking. They might have, but I remember mother was usually the cook. Mother never, well, wasn't like your mother who thrived with millions of people around in the kitchen.
Right.
Mother out. She wanted to be alone.
Okay.
We did have a portable. Well, no, that wasn't with mother. That was us when we first moved in. We had a portable dishwasher that.
Oh yeah.
Over
Oh yeah. Sure. I remember the portable. Well, that was much later, I think.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Okay. Talk about the campground and when you went there and how long that went on, and then the move. Your parents moved to Cleveland, and I don't have that chronology at all.
The campground was originally a double circle of cottages, some sort of a church campground. That's where the name came from. I don't know what the denomination was. They moved out there, I think, when I was a year old in the summer. One cottage, and then I think the next year they moved down to the one that maybe the first year they rented, and the second year they bought the house, which is still there.
Right.
And we went out there every summer after school was out, and we stayed there until school started. And Dad would commute every day to the store.
And that was just for what? Change of scene, or
It was
cooler,
cooler in the summer, you know, and that sort of thing. It may be a nice place to bring up the kids, I don't know.
Yeah.
But that was a big part of our life, you know.
Yeah.
That's where we were officially engaged, was out at the tennis court.
Right.
But no, we went out there until I got married.
Yeah.
And I think they were out there maybe a short time after that. And then there was the tires, and the rubber rationing during the war and everything.
Yeah.
I think that's when when they sold the house.
Oh, okay.
And, the Benheims had a cottage there. Jane Carey's folks had a cottage there. The Richies. Remember you would know the Richies. Thelma Ritchie. Well, anyway, they had a cottage there.
Yeah.
Stuart Thompson and his kids had a cottage there. We had a nice group of, and we had bicycles. We weren't allowed to use them in town. We could ride all over the grounds out there. What else do you want to know about out there?
What other did it have? A pool? Did it have a lake?
No, there was a tennis court and a croquet court and horseshoes.
Yeah.
The old men used to gather there in the evenings with their. Those are the days when you had detachable collars. They would come out without the collar on, and they would. The men would pitch horseshoes.
Oh, fun.
And, we'd have every once in a while. They'd have I guess I don't think they called it that, an ice cream social. People would get, and we'd have the kids out there. Their mothers would give us a packed lunch. We'd go out and sit under a tree and have lunch. And the farmer across the way, if you wanted corn, you'd call her up, and she'd go pick the corn, and then you put it right in the pot.
Yeah. Oh, fun.
The telephone was on a tree out in the middle of the grounds, in a little log shelter. The phone would ring and the kids would run. They'd have a box there for us to stand on.
Yeah.
And then you'd find out who they wanted, and then you'd have to go to their house and tell them, and they'd have
funny.
to come. I hope it'd be a big thing if it was long distance. Then eventually they put in the lines into the cottage as a party line. And when it rang, it would ring in every cottage. But they would have rings, like ring 1, 2, ring 3, 1.
Oh, okay.
And I guess that kept up until until Stuart Thompson, I think, I forget who said that. He'd had his secretary ring him every morning at 6 o'clock, and it would ring. So I think they finally managed to switch it so that
was the end of the party line.
Wasn't on a party line.
Oh, that's funny.
We had water.
Yeah.
We didn't have gas. The stoves, the stoves were originally oil, I remember, or kerosene. I'm sorry, kerosene stoves, which would have been a kerosene hot water heater too.
Yeah.
Drinking water we got from a pump. We didn't drink the water that came through the system. And Ferguson's had a farm, and they used to bring over milk and eggs.
Mm-hmm.
The milk was not pasteurized, of course. It was really whole milk.
Yeah.
But, it was rich. It was,
Put
they
hair
had
on
a
your
spring
tongue.
house, and we used to go over there and dabble our feet in the water. Not the feet, just, and then they had a pig pen. You take the garbage, the caretaker who lived up at the gate came
Mhm.
around and picked up the garbage and fed it to the pigs, and that was the big thrill.
Ah.
Go over here, oink, oink, oink.
They did that at my camp.
You always took your guests over to show them the pigs.
Yeah. Oh, how funny.
And there was a road, went clear around. Nobody had garages. It was one big community garage.
Yeah.
Or you could leave your car parked out.
Yeah.
When did the garage here get built?
Right at the time that we remodeled the house, which would have been in '67. The cottage back there, I said, well, it was empty by then.
Mm-hmm.
Tad Okazaki, does that name ring any bells with you? No. Anyway, he was a ceramic artist. He lived in there by himself.
Mm.
The Cunninghams
Right.
lived there. I don't know who. Well, I remember some lady lived there, or somebody who had the answering service in there. But it was as I understand, the Office for Land Development in this area. I can't think of the name of the whatever it was, but it's
Did
on
they
my tape.
tear that down? Did you tear that down to
Yeah,
build
well,
that?
Built the
I
garage.
thought they could clear out the basement there and use it for a garage, so we didn't have to go down there. And it said it'd be a lot smarter just to knock the thing down and build from scratch, which we did then.
Yeah.
And so we got the two-car garage, which eventually turned into a one-car garage. The walls.
Right.
We used to get both our cars in there. If
Yeah.
you remember? Yeah. What was it?
So then the Cleveland era.
Oh, all right.
When was that? Your parents.
Okay, Elsa and I, when we were married, that building had been made into 4 apartments.
Yeah.
And we took the upstairs apartment on this side, which had been our upper floor when we lived in there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we had our apartment in October of 1938. Then then I went to the service in spring of 43. And in 44, early 44, Dad sold the store and moved to Cleveland. And
Okay.
they had an apartment with Betty. And they wanted to sell this house. And it was on the market for $15,000. And Elsa said, how about letting us have it? Because she was very uncomfortable with the idea of Dad coming back to town for a visit and not having a place to stay with us.
Yeah.
So they said, sure. So Elsa and Elsa Ann moved over here. The story was, well, yeah, that's right. They moved a lot of stuff on a sled.
Mm.
And the people that moved it said, lady, if you've got all this stuff in this apartment in 4 years, I'd hate to move you out of this apartment. So they moved in here, and then Aunt Ida.
Even then, huh?
Aunt Ida came over then to live with Elsa while I was gone.
Oh.
There were 2 aunts that came from Germany, and Aunt Ida was the younger of the 2, so to speak.
Yeah.
And so she came over and lived with Elsa then while I was gone.
Oh. Okay.
How long were you gone?
From the spring of 43 until late January of 46, almost 3 years.
Yeah. So then.
I was lucky. I was in California. Nobody shot at me in anger. But you went where they sent you.
Yeah.
And I didn't put it on. I don't know if you got it. I didn't have to go.
Yeah.
I was
You
deferred
enlisted?
because of my profession and father. I'm a father. And I mean, optometrists were not subject to the draft at that time. But I told Elsa that she was pregnant, and I said, if everything comes out all right, I'm going to ask them to change my classification because I just think I should be part of this.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what they did when Elsa came along and everybody was okay. Then they changed me from 4A, I think it was 4. Anyway, it was not a physical deferment until 1A. And the doctor said, "Are you sure you want this?" And I said, "Yep." So then it wasn't long after that luckily I was never out of the country.
But so were you
Yeah, I'm
were you actually drafted or did you enlist?
No.
You
I
enlisted
went
in
in
effect.
under the draft. I mean, I think I went in with the 3 under the classification of the draft, but actually and I didn't actually enlist.
Oh.
I asked him to change my classification
Oh, I see.
from 4
Yeah.
to 3, so I went in. I just felt, with the situation in Germany, and
Mm-hmm.
I just felt that I should be part of it, whatever happened.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not particularly proud of it. I just felt that's what I wanted to do, and I don't condemn anybody that didn't.
Mm-hmm.
But I just, and I was lucky.
Yeah.
Except that Elsa came out to visit me twice.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. Did
Once
you bring Elsa Ann?
No. Once I think Mother and Dad must have taken care of Elsa Ann. Well, by then, let's see, the folks from it, she probably had them, Elsa Ann was probably up in Cleveland with them.
Mm.
Yeah, she would have been just a baby.
Yeah.
We had a tough time when I got home, Elsa Ann and I.
Yeah.
He was a
But,
stranger.
She didn't know you. She didn't know you.
no, I was
Right.
just a picture, and here she was, the center of Grandpa and Grandma and Mama and Grandpa and Grandma and 2 aunts over there, and here comes this guy, what's he doing here? She was ready to run away once, and I helped her pack a bag, and I said, well, I think she was 3 or something. Well, she would have been 3.
Yeah, that's funny.
But anyway, we
So then,
got
so
over that.
yeah, so your parents were in Cleveland
They were in
for how
Cleveland
many
from-
years?
From 1944 until I think Betty moved to Worcester, Mass.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was 56, if I'm not mistaken. Well, no, wait a minute, no. Before that, because Betty was up there when you were born.
Oh,
Betty was in Shrewsbury and Worcester when you were born, because I kept sending her first of all, a little brad. I said to chew nails, and then I sent her a little bit bigger one, and then a little bit bigger one, then a great big thing, an empty box. And the post office people got it and said, you sent a package to somebody up there, and it arrived there empty. And I said, that's how it was sent. So see, you were born in 55, so
Right.
Betty must have gone up there in 55.
okay.
And so then sometime after that, then the folks moved back here into
Into
that
the apartment, right.
But they were in Florida for a good bit of the time. And,
Now, were they already going to Florida when they
Yes.
lived in Cleveland?
yeah, that I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
And now, didn't you say that they used to go to Miami at some point, or?
Yeah, they went to Miami once. Your mother went down to visit them.
Hmm.
Maybe they did go before they went to Cleveland. I'm sorry, but I don't know that they stayed. They had an apartment that they stayed like the time,
Mhm.
like they did in Sarasota when they were there for a few months at a time.
Right. So when did they first go to Sarasota?
It would have been before their anniversary in 1960,
Yeah.
but I can't tell you just exactly.
Oh, okay.
Probably several years before that.
Yeah. But they owned a place there, right?
No, they didn't.
Oh, they rented that?
They rented a place. They rented apartments in Florida.
Yeah. Because I remember when we went, they had it was a little house. I mean, it was seems to me it was
It was sort of like a thing.
a single family. Yeah.
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 But we're part of a little group, but the name of the people that live next door. Anyway,
I
you're
used to
right.
know that. They used to send us Christmas cards and oranges or something.
Yeah, they were from Cleveland or something.
Yeah.
And then the people from Cleveland that they knew, we visited them in an apartment once, and my college roommate lived in the same building. Not Jerry,
Wait.
Bert
Cutler.
No.
No. The ones who lived next door. Wasn't it Cutler? Cutler or Cutler?
Right.
Don't ask me why I remember
this.
this.
In Florida.
Yeah.
I think you're
Herb
right.
and
Yeah, you're right.
and
Cutler or Cutler.
Estelle or Elaine or
I'm not sure.
Something.
Frank. I was 6. Okay.
I can't
I'm
remember
impressed.
the people in
Yeah.
Cleveland. He was quite active. They were quite active in the Jewish community and
Yeah.
charity things.
Yeah.
We worked in one of my first, Bert Marks, I think his mother lived, we ran into him in the hall out there once.
Hmm.
But then when Betty moved to Shrewsbury,
Mhm.
before she went into what we did, that's where the place she worked was in Shrewsbury. She lived there, and then she got an apartment in Worcester.
Right.
I used to call up, and that's when you see operator, I want to put a call to such and such in Worcester. That's WORCSTER, and then they get the operator on the other end, and they say, "Is this Worcester?" And the operators would laugh. And then Betty moved to New York. I can't remember when she moved to New York, but she was up in Worcester for a few years.
All right,
What-
Betty.
Betty worked at Shrewsbury at the Worcester Foundation for Experimental Biology, which is where the pill was first developed. Dr. Pincus.
Yeah.
And we got up there, I drove up with her, and we made an appointment to meet them and we walked in the door, and they came up to me, well, Dr. Rubin, I said, no, that doctor.
That's funny.
So she was there for a while, and then she got the apartment in Worcester, and that's where she made her. Then eventually she moved down to Albert Einstein in New York.
Now, why did your parents feel they needed to move to Cleveland? I never quite get this.
Well, Dad sold the store to a man named Jack Shaw.
Why?
Well, because he wanted to sell the store. He wanted he wanted to quit.
He was done. I understand
And
that.
he thought that he would stay on and help Jack Shaw. And Jack Shaw, I guess, didn't want any part of that. So Dad decided to move to Cleveland, and they would be. I don't know what Betty was doing before. See, that wouldn't have been until 44, and Betty was out of school.
She would have been done with school by
then.
then.
She was working,
Yeah.
probably working on her doctorate. She was working at the hospitals up there. But
What's her doctorate in?
Pardon?
What's Betty's doctorate in?
Biochemistry?
Biochemistry. Biochemistry.
Yeah.
And endocrinology.
Yes.
And so then my office was in the back of the store.
Right.
And the store was sold with the idea that I had the option of either coming back there or not. And I'm not.
And that was the store that was on Washington Street.
Washington Street Rail.
Okay. Okay.
That was the one where I showed you the picture, didn't I? Of before the rest of the building. No, I forgot.
sure.
I got that printed.
Oh, yeah?
Hold everything.
Did you turn that off?
He's still going.
Is that going?
The Dandy Bar. This is the Potter Savings and Loan Building. This is
Yeah.
Potteries.
Yeah.
Now, right here, this is the building where there's the parking lot. And if you look carefully, there is nothing here. That's before
Yeah.
the building where Dad, see what I mean? There's nothing, there's no building, there's just trees.
Okay,
There was a
okay.
big house on the corner there.
Okay.
Now, I've got another picture someplace that shows from the other side that you can see after the building was built, just the part where his store was in and the one next to it where there was a dress shop. I don't know where that is. I'll find it.
Well, when I was in that postcard buying frenzy
Yeah.
at the beginning of this year, I think I have a postcard that's similar to this or shows that corner,
Yeah.
but I think the building is already, I think the building here that your
already
dad's
there,
office
yeah.
or store was in was already there at that point.
See, the rest of Ogilvy's was not there. Where do I have those pictures?
It's all right. Smile, everyone.
I'll find it.
Happy
sometime.
Hanukkah.
I know I have. I found them on the at the time of the reunion. I found them on that beauty supply place.
Oh, yeah?
I
Oh,
went
that's
and
right.
asked the lady if I could borrow them, and she took them down, and I took them down to the library, and they made copies.
Oh, great.
But you can see the house
Mm-hmm.
with the iron fence, and then where Ogilvy's was originally was next to it where the 5 and Dime was.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see that building in the back, so that you know that there was the house there.
Yeah.
But I don't, and if you look at the alley, you can see there were windows along the ground floor level, but they were bricked in. And I don't know when that top was, when Ogilvy's and moved over into
Yeah.
into there. But over where the 5 and Dime was where Ogilvy's had their linens and stuff, so that you went upstairs in Ogilvy's and then moved over across the top of the 5 and Dime. I wish I know where those pictures. Well, anyway, I'll find them and
Yeah.
see. But so that shows that there was the building. That picture shows before there was a building.
Right.
Then the other picture I think was in 19. No, it came off some pen. Anyway, I got it.
Yeah. Well then, all right. So then, where did the building that I remember as your office?
Yeah.
When did that get into the mix? Because your parents owned that building, right?
No. Edwin M. Knowles owned that building.
The building
Where
on 6th Street, where your office was later, when I
Oh,
knew it?
later.
Yeah,
on
yeah.
the 60s. That was after the war. Yes,
Oh, okay.
Dad, that was the Benheim Rubin building. Or
Okay.
the Rubin Benheim building, I'm not sure which.
Yeah.
And yes, they did own that. And there was when you knew it, there was a restaurant on the right-hand
Yeah.
side, and my office, and the real estate office,
Mm-hmm.
and Art Kathleen, and apartments upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one that burned.
Right.
Yeah.
But-
Then I moved into there. We remodeled that, my office, just a long, thin office.
Right. Now, so you moved into there after your dad sold the store?
I moved into there when I came home from the Army.
Oh, that's right, because when you went to the Army, your dad still had the store
Yes,
on
right,
Washington
right,
Street.
right.
Got it.
They didn't, the new owner didn't want you in there too?
No, I had the option of coming back there or not,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't want to. I wanted my separate office.
Yeah.
And at that time, that was the thing, to have an optical department in a jewelry store.
Yeah.
That's why, and I wasn't forced to go to optometry school,
Yeah.
but, that was an option, and I had no real, the only other thing I ever really wanted to be was an archaeologist.
Mm.
And I found out that you had to learn Greek and Hebrew, and I thought, forget about it.
Yeah.
So that's when we remodeled.
Okay.
See, I took the state boards in, right after graduation in June of 33, 37, I'm sorry, 37. And we weren't notified till November. And when I got the certificate, it was dated August. So that there were several months there that they knew about it but didn't tell us.
Oh, no.
That's when we remodeled the back end of the store for my office.
Uh-huh.
And then I was there from the end of 1937 until I went in 1943.
Mm-hmm.
And in the back end of the store.
Did you go somewhere between that office and the little building? The one that Lee remembers, and
I
then the little
loved-
building?
No, wait, between the, what again?
Oh, the
so
office
Between
that
the
I,
fire, it took me about a year, Susie.
well, the office that Dad was in when I was growing up was across the street from Bricker's.
Right, it was the downstairs office.
Oh, I wish you were still there. I
Yeah.
really like Brick.
Now the building is
The
still
building's
there.
gone.
The building
It
went
was
after.
made after the fire, they tore it down, it was a parking lot.
Oh, okay. So you were in there from 1940.
From
something.
From 1946,
Mm-hmm.
on 6th Street.
Right.
46 until 1980.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
And then it took me about a year to, Elsa Ann drew up elaborate plans over beside the post office, where there's that store there now, and
Yeah.
there was an Army recruiting office
Yeah,
there, and
yeah.
there was a space there, we drew up elaborate plans, and Mangano's owned it.
Uh-huh.
Bill Mangano, I think it was gonna cost me like $400 a month for the future
Yeah.
generations, and we decided that was too much and then the thing in the little building came, Scott Grosser moved out.
Oh, okay.
That's where Norman
It had been
his
Norman's office
It had been
originally.
Norman's office, right. And
Right.
so it took me a year to get,
Yeah.
which was all right.
Yeah. But then you saw patients there for some period of time, didn't you?
From 1981 until, about 5 years, until I quit.
Yeah.
Oh.
When I was ready to quit, I should have quit then. But then I wouldn't have had the office.
Yeah.
right.
I'd have had it in the basement, or I wouldn't have had it.
Yeah.
When the fire happened at your other office, did you lose everything?
Didn't know the fire was up above, and I got drowned out.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't get
It was
burned,
all
I got
water.
drowned. But we had gotten in, and I covered what I could with plastic. And then, of course, we just picked everything up, all the equipment up, and sent it out to a place south of Columbus. I can't remember where, but and they reconditioned everything, except one instrument. And they said it's cheaper to buy a new one. And I said, what'll I do with this one? He said, make it for a boat anchor. But we moved. First thing we ran into I think Paul and Nessie called us that there was a fire in the building, and we went up. And first thing we got out was Elsa's paintings and took them across the street to Brickers.
Yeah.
Isley's. Brickers, you know it as,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I covered up everything else, and I said, hell, that's,
What can you do?
and so we just stood across the street, and I said, people said, how are you taking this so calmly? I said, what do you want me to do, cry?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Then remember, you guys came from Columbus,
Right.
remember?
Right.
And you were moving the safe down the street the day after somebody stole one down in West End.
Oh.
Yeah, I think wasn't it Jim Dre and I
Yeah,
think,
right, Jim Dre, and
had our
you
picture in the
had-
newspaper.
I
and-
thought, was Holly there? No. Yeah, that other lady was here.
I think I came by myself on
No,
that
that
trip.
other lady was here.
Yeah.
But I
But
can't
that would've been
remember
later.
who else.
Yeah.
Probably Jim, and
Yeah, I
I
think it was
couldn't
just
tell you.
people in town were helping.
But
But,
then eventually Dick went in and got all the light fixtures and
Oh,
took them
okay.
out, not to, for further use.
yeah, yeah,
And by the time the stuff was reconditioned and all that, we
yeah.
found a place to go.
Yeah.
And they remodeled the other office.
Right,
Suzi,
right.
that's why it took a lot of time too. They remodeled the office to some extent, where I am now.
Oh,
The
on
new
the
office.
little
See,
building,
that
okay.
was my little office, and the reception room was all one room. That was Norman's dental office, what you
Oh,
call an
yeah.
operating room.
Op-
Then the other room was a little secondary operating room.
Mm-hmm.
See, that was a separate room. And then the big room was their reception room,
Right,
his reception room, which is where
Well-
the train
right.
is.
The train room.
Okay, wait, so, but when you had it, you walked in the door, that was the reception area. And then that room where you have all the engines up is where you had all the frames on display.
That's where I had the frames on
But then
display.
to see the eye chart and all that was in the big
In the
room?
big room that had been the dentist reception room.
Yeah.
The dentist reception room.
Well, is there a door there?
Yes, into the hall, but it's blocked
It's
off.
blocked
I mean,
off.
I have the stuff in the back of it so you can't get in.
Okay,
But the door is there.
I
It's
got
not
it.
sealed.
Right, okay.
And then they had, where my safe is in that little junk room, they had an entry into the room next door, which Scott Grocer used as a consultation room. But that's been blocked off, so that,
Okay.
and I'm not sure, but that might not have been, that little dark room in there someplace.
Yeah, maybe, or for the X-rays or
yeah.
Yes, for
something.
the x-rays,
Sure.
yeah, for developing x-rays.
Oh, that's very cool.
So
Okay.
then I was there until the end of 1985.
Wow.
And that's when Mrs. Anderson and I decided we had it. I'd had it before that.
Yeah.
I was going through a rough patch there, but got it straightened out.
Yeah. But now it's
And
now it continues to be your train room,
train room,
and for which you pay how much a month?
$200.
Oh,
Oh, that's fabulous.
That's
Yeah.
expensive.
that's gone up, I'm sure, a lot since you went
No, it
in.
was
so-
I think I started out 150,
Oh, okay.
Wow, that's pretty good
but it's
for
2 rooms,
Yeah.
so you pay by the room. So I've got 2
Oh,
rooms.
I see.
Oh.
All right.
That little desk there where Mrs. Anderson, well, now wait a minute, no, that was there because when you came into the reception room, there was a window there with a lattice work type thing where you did your, like you do in the doctor's
Yeah.
office, where
Right.
you
Pay
pay
your
your
bill.
bills, and so then I guess you walked in there and then went into but we moved it the other way around because that was my examining room.
Right.
And my little reception room and my little office, that was all one room, and they put that panel in, and with the sink there, so I could use that for contact lenses when I
Right.
did them.
Well, what else was in the little building at that time besides you?
At one time, dear, all that was filled with doctors and dentists and lawyers and insurance. New York Life had an office there up across from me. Dr. Kinsey was up there. He had the whole thing on the other side where Dr. Swearingen was. That's the dentist we used to go to. All kinds of, I can't tell you. It was filled with, Dr. McCutcheon was there when I was a little boy, and then,
Mm-hmm.
even when I was, until he died. And Dr. Miskell, a couple of foot doctors, chiropractors, not chiropractors.
Podiatrist. Oh, wait.
Chiropodists, they call
Oh,
them. And some business offices, and downstairs, the cigar store was always there.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
There were other things. There was right beside the elevator. Well, that shoe repair shop has been there forever, because you can see that in the old pictures of the building.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a drugstore then on the other side, and there was the little part there. It was a shoe shine place, just a little cubby hole type thing. And the parking lot in the back wasn't there. There was a bakery back there. Remember the Perlmans? They had their fruit store there.
Mm-hmm.
Produce,
yeah.
whatever you call it.
Yeah.
sister with her getting ready kosher for Passover.
Mm-hmm.
And he was very kosher. He wouldn't ride to work on Shabbat.
Mm-hmm.
He'd walk to work on Shabbat. His store was open, but he wouldn't ride. He wouldn't drive up on Shabbat.
Yeah, they lived next door to this house.
That was 2 apartments in a down and an up, and they lived upstairs.
Yeah.
It's when these people moved in, I think, that they took the whole,
Oh, okay.
used to be, well, Eckert's used to live in there, the whole thing, right?
Mhm.
At one time.
All right.
Anything else?
Any other questions for today's session?
No, I think that's good.
Thank
for
you. No, this was
today.
lovely.
That's a lot of, I
Yeah, that's great.
have no idea how you can remember all that.
Well, you remember, Mrs. Anderson was with me for 25 years.
Yeah.
And then shortly after that is when she took a stroke and was in bed for 8 or 10 years.
Yeah.
Not really knowing much of anything.
Oh.
At home.
Yeah.
And her sister-in-law, who they used to fight like cats and dogs, was there practically every day to take care of her.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really wonderful.
Yeah.
And Jody, I think, was, last time I saw Jody was at Mrs. Anderson's funeral. And they had adopted a little Russian baby.
Mm-hmm.
And they were going to go back over and adopt another little Russian baby, but then they found they were pregnant.
Aw, as it
she
so
was,
often
I think,
turns
up
out.
near Meadville, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
She wasn't able to get down from Mother's funeral. She wasn't really well or something. He's still out in the house, remember, out on.
Yeah.
out
Oh,
there.
good.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
That was very interesting.
Okay.